was funny. Somebody also brought this to me on Twitter, and I had one of my little petty responses like, "Don't send me Wall Street on Parade stories. I'm the one that told y'all about Wall Street on Parade. This is my spot. Don't But anyway, but I'm glad that they did, because I had not seen this story that came out yesterday, which I think is very interesting in terms of when we talk about. Well, when I at least would want to talk about the assumption of political power and redistribution, as opposed to petty infighting over what crumbs we're going to get. But the story here, there's a news blackout on the Fed's naming of banks that got its emergency repo loans. Some journalists appear to be under gag orders. 4 days ago, the Federal Reserve released the names of the banks that had received $4.5 trillion in cumulative loans in the last quarter of 2019. And I just want to read that one part again. $4.5 trillion in cumulative loans in the last quarter of 2019 under its emergency repo loans operation for liquidity crisis that had yet to be credibly explained. Among the largest borrowers are JP Morgan Chase. And I always want to remind everybody when Jamie Dimon, and he didn't put his fist up, and when Jamie Dimon took a knee in front of his vaults in commemorating George Floyd's killing. He was a part of this. Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, three of the Wall Street banks that were at the center of the subprime and derivatives crisis in 2008 that brought down the U.S. economy. That's blockbuster news. But as of 7 a.m. this morning, not one major business media outlet has reported the details of the Fed's big reveal. Just one other little piece from this. The dollar amounts of the Fed's repo loans grew to staggering levels on October 24th of 2019. The New York Fed will now be lavishing up to $120 billion a day in cheap overnight loans to Wall Street securities trading firms, a daily increase of $45 billion from its previously announced $75 billion a day. In addition, it's increasing its 14-day terms loan to Wall Street, a program which also comes out of the blue in September, to $45 billion. Those term loans since September have been occurring twice a week, meaning another $90 billion a week will be offered, bringing the total weekly offering to an astounding $690 billion a week. It should be noted that if the same Wall Street firms are getting these loans continuously rolled over, they are effectively permanent loans. That's exactly what happened during the 2007-2010 Wall Street collapse. Some teetering Wall Street casinos received individually $2 trillion in cumulative loans that were rolled over for 2.5 years without the authorization of even awareness of Congress or the American people. One bank, Citigroup, received over $2.5 trillion in Fed loans, much of them at an interest rate below 1% at a time when it is insolvent and couldn't have obtained loans in the open market. I just want to share one other quick piece about this, because I often have to look this up just so I'm clear what is being discussed. But just so everybody, just what a repo loan is a repurchasing agreement. A repurchase agreement is a form of a short-term borrowing for dealers in government securities. In the case of a repo, a dealer sells government securities to investors, usually on an overnight basis, and buys them back the following day at a slightly higher price. That small difference in price is implicit overnight interest rate. Repos are typically used to raise short-term capital. They are also a common tool of a central bank open market operations, end quote, from Investopedia. My simple summary of that is, when big banks need some help, the Fed steps in, creates money out of nothing, and gives it to them. When the rest of us need help, nobody has anything to say. They don't have any, they tell us to start a business, go to college, buy some land, buy a house, stop buying rims and weed, get your money, stop, misbehaving, get your financial literacy together. It just keeps on going. Invest in crypto, get your Bitcoin, all of that. But nobody says, just create the money we need to wipe out our debts and keep us going. Nope, that part is off the table. So whether it's student loans or any other kind of debt, the sums that are being passed around here per day, in hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars in one quarter. And people have the nerve to then tell us, you fight each other over reparations, you fight each other over minimum wages, you fight each other over every single damn thing. And when I see stories like this, it just, again, makes me want to do push-ups and get out and, and just, at least intellectually, as Bob Brown would say, beat somebody with a bat and shotgun some of these ideas out of the air and say, look, man, all this is out here. We don't need to, nobody needs to be suffering like this. We just need political power. As Kwame Ture said, that's all I want. Just power. That's it. You can have everything else. Just give me the political power.